Hello. Hey,
Hello.
Hans.
Hey, Savannah. All
How's it
right.
going?
Good, good. I'm excited to introduce Savannah Sanchez, founder of the Social Savannah, and we're coming to you live from Southern California. Um, and what can I say? Savannah hosted a fantastic session at our space in downtown LA in the fall, which is still one of my favorites. And so you guys are up for a treat today. So sharpen your pencils and buckle up. And how are you feeling, Savannah? Are you ready to take over and I'll hop out of here?
I'm, yep, I'm ready. Thanks, Hans, for the intro.
All right, great. So I'll let you take it from here. I'll be in the control room, so if you need anything, just wave your hand and I'll come back.
Cool.
All right,
Thanks, Hans.
bye.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Like Hans said, my name is Savannah Sanchez. I run a Facebook and Snapchat consultancy. So I help e-commerce brands, all Shopify merchants with their Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, Google ads. But what I'm most excited about is Snapchat. So I've been running Snapchat ads for the past 2 years for e-commerce. Before I was a freelancer, I actually worked at a big ad agency where I was running the Snapchat media buying teams. So I've been working with Snapchat ads up and since its inception of allowing advertisers on the platform. So I have a ton of experience, especially with e-commerce and Shopify. And even over the last few months, I've seen a tremendous amount of growth with my e-commerce stores on Snapchat. So I'm really pushing a lot of my clients to try it, especially if you're not seeing great results on Facebook. You can get much cheaper traffic on Snapchat and drive a lot more purchases that way. So I'm super excited to show you guys step by step how I set up my campaigns. First, I'm going to show you guys how to set it up via the Shopify app. Extremely easy integration, so you can get started right away. And then I'll also show you how to get set up in Snapchat Ads Manager. And in Snapchat Ads Manager, I'll show you my more advanced campaign setup, how I go about breaking out campaigns. And how I'll handle the question and answer section is that after all of the training is done, I'm going to set aside 20 minutes at the end to go through the chat, answer any questions. So as I'm talking, please put your questions in the chat, and Hans and I are going to get to them at the end. So definitely keep putting questions in the chat, and I'm so excited to get started. First and foremost, I know you guys have seen that I've mentioned that you get $1,000 ad credit. So this is a spend 1,000, get 1,000 in Snapchat ad credit offer. So I'm going to put that in the chat right now just to make sure that everyone has the link. I just sent it to everybody. Give me a thumbs up in the chat to make sure you got it. I'll even send it again. Great, you have the link now. So you're going to use this link to set up with Snapchat ads. It's only available for new Snapchat advertisers. So if you've advertised on Snapchat before, but you want to take advantage of the $1,000 in free credit, make a new account, sign up with this link so you could take advantage of the spend 1,000, get 1,000. Again, throwing it in the chat one last time. Hans can also repost it if it gets lost, but click on this link to make your account. Again, you're going to have to make a new account if you've already been a Snapchat advertiser, take advantage of this credit. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead, share my screen, go through the entire process of making out Snapchat campaigns, and then feel free to throw questions in as I go. Sweet. So you guys can all see my screen now in a very Inception-like way. And when you click on the link, you're going to get to this page just to receive $1,000 in ad credit from me. And then all you have to do is create an ad to get set up. And it's going to take you through the process. It'll take you about 30 seconds to enter in some basic information around your business name, where your business is located. This $1,000 offer is also for US merchants only. So if you're not in the US, you won't be able to take advantage of this offer. So enter your US address, basic info, your credit card, of course, and then I'll show you the screen that you're going to be launched to once you enter in your basic info. So once you go through the sign up process, it'll take you less than 5 minutes. You're going to end up on this screen. So this is where you get started with Snapchat ads, and I'm going to go through the process of how to integrate it with your existing Shopify store. So all you have to do, it's super simple. the best way I find to access the Snapchat Shopify app is I literally just Google Shopify Snapchat app. Or if you're in the Shopify App Store, you can simply just search for Snapchat ads. But this is the correct link. You're going to click add this app. And then what you'll do is you're going to connect your Snapchat Business Manager, what you just created here, with the Snapchat ads app on your Shopify store. So you're going to click add app. And I'm going to show you exactly where to go. So once you click add app, just sit it on this other account. This is what it should look like. You're going to have the option to connect your existing Snapchat ads account that you just created. So you'll just enter your Snapchat username and password, and then you'll be prompted to connect the Snapchat pixel. So it should automatically connect the pixel if you log in with the same username and password that you just created this business manager in. Or you can also do it this way. You can go to the menu up here, go to Snapchat pixel, set up pixel, and you're going to copy this pixel ID link. So Shopify makes it incredibly easy and simple. Like, you don't have to have any coding knowledge to install the pixel to be able to start tracking website visitors, purchasers, add to cart on your site. All you need is this pixel ID, you copy, and then you go to pixel only setup and you paste this code. It could not be more simple. And now on your Snapchat ads, you're going to be able to retarget people who have taken action on your website and be able to track to make sure that you're actually getting purchases from your Snapchat ads. So that's how I set the pixel. And so now I'm going to go through the process of making a campaign in Shopify. So if you haven't messed with Facebook ads before, or you're a brand new merchant and you don't want to go through maybe the complicated process of setting it up in Snapchat Ads Manager, the Shopify Snapchat integration makes it really easy to start on Snapchat ads right away. And you don't have to have any media buying know-how, and you'll actually see some pretty great results just going through this method. So I'm going to show you the quick and easy way of how to get started. You're going to click on Create Ads. And you're going to want to do a new marketing activity. And you'll see all of the different integrations that you may have integrated already with Shopify. I'm going to show you how to do a Snapchat dynamic shopping ads, because these are the ads that I've seen have the best performance in terms of driving purchasers to your Shopify store for my clients. And what's cool about it is that because you've already integrated Snapchat ads with your Shopify pixel, it's going to pull in all of your product data from your website so that you can start making ads really quickly. So for those of you who have used Facebook ads before, the dynamic product ad, it can be to people who have viewed your content, added to cart on your website, and then you're remarketing those people with the products that they viewed. You can also do dynamic product ads for prospecting. So you can show people their products with the name and the price to people who haven't been to your website yet, if you want to do a prospecting campaign as well. So let's quickly go through the process. So I'm just going to name this Snapchat ad. And I forgot to mention this too. When you make your first ad through the Shopify app, you also get another $100 in free credits once you spend 25. So you can literally get the $1,000 credit from the link I sent you. Plus, if you launch an ad through the Shopify app, you'll get another $100 when you spend your first 25. So if you are a new advertiser and you just want to take advantage of that spend 25, get $100 offer, all you have to do is launch an ad within the app. So brand name, this brand is called Lullaboo. They sell t-shirts for new moms, as well as leggings, maternity wear. And then you're going to pick your headline. So this is going to go right under your brand name. So I'm going to say the best baby wearing, the best baby or maternity clothes, I should say. And then you're going to have your option to do prospecting versus retargeting. So prospecting, if you don't have a lot of traffic to your Shopify site yet, you're probably going to want to start out with a prospecting campaign, because this is going to find brand new people to go to your site. And so what is really cool about the Snapchat ads algorithm, it'll dynamically create an audience for you based off of your products, people who have been to your website before, to find new customers to bring to your site. So you're relying on the Snapchat algorithm in order to find new customers. Whereas retargeting is people who have already been to your site, but you want to show them your products again. So this is great to remarket your existing website users, people who have purchased from you before. So for this instance, I'm going to do retargeting. So again, just to delineate that, if you want to get new traffic to your site, you're going to want to do a prospecting campaign, but retargeting is to retarget your existing traffic to show them relevant products. So here you can add in additional targeting. If you want to say, I only want to target females in these age, I'll typically only do this if I'm doing a prospecting campaign. For retargeting, I just want to get anyone who's been to our website. So I'm not going to limit it by any additional interests. You can set your daily budget. You can also do a lifetime budget if you want to say, I only want to spend $100 on this campaign in the lifetime, and I want to set the start and end date. That's totally fine too. Or you can say, I want to spend $50 a day on this ad. So for this example, I'll say, I want to spend $20 a day. I want to start now. And you can also see some different previews of what it could look like with different sample products. So if you have multiple products in your catalog, it'll show you that with the Swipe Up CTA. Publish. And you're there. That's literally how easy it is to launch your first Snapchat campaign within the Shopify interface. So like I said, I'm going to go also through how to do it in Snapchat Ads Manager for anyone who wants like a more advanced way to manage campaigns. If you're managing at a bit more scale, doing it through the Shopify integration is perfect to launch your first campaign, just so you can start retargeting with those dynamic product ads. But I do want to show you how I personally manage my accounts. So like I said, I manage multiple e-commerce accounts, scale them through Snapchat ads, some accounts spending over $50,000 a month on Snapchat ads alone. And that's all going to be done through the Snapchat Ads Manager. So Shopify app, great for getting started. But if you're looking to really start spending on Snapchat and get more advanced in your strategies, like uploading custom video ads, different collection ad formats, ads on the Discover feed, you're going to want to do this all through Snapchat Ads Manager. Luckily, Snapchat Ads Manager is incredibly simple to navigate. In my opinion, it's a lot easier than Facebook ads, just the layout is much more intuitive. So this is a brand new ad account. So I'm going to show you, if you were just starting off brand new, these are the exact same steps you would take in order to launch your first campaigns. So you're going to go here and you're going to go to Creative Library. So before I even start making audiences, building out campaigns, what I like to do is I like to build out all of my creatives within the Creative Library. And what's cool is that your Creative Library saves all the different creatives that you've ran before. So these are just a few different tests I've done. So you can preview different ads that you've made, edit existing ads, create campaigns. So I'm going to go through the process of creating a brand new ad through the Creative Library. So again, just to repeat those steps. When I'm making a brand new ad account, I build all my ad creatives in the Creative Library first. Then I build my audiences. Then I build my campaigns. So I'll go through all of those steps. So again, to get here, you go to here, Creative Library. I'm going to click on a new creative. And you're going to get the option for a few different ad types. So the most popular ad type and the ad type that I personally spend, I would say 90% of my budget on, if not all of my budget, are single image and video ads. So these are the ads that are interrupting your feed, same style as like an Instagram story ad, where if you're watching your friend's content, then this ad pops up in it. So you're going to name your ad. I'm going to call this ad number 1. This isn't shown to users, so you can name it whatever. Lullaboo is the name of the brand. I'm going to do this example on Wear Your Baby as the headline. So it'll also auto-populate the previews of what it's going to look like. So that's pretty cool. So you can see what your ad is as you're starting to build it. So there's a couple different options in terms of building out new creatives. The first option, which is great if you already have existing story creatives. So if you're running ads on Instagram stories, or if you even have any Instagram stories that you just posted organically that you want to test on Snapchat, I've seen that as a really effective strategy. So if I'm filming an Instagram story of my product, I'll save that story and then I'll upload it to Snapchat ads. So that's exactly what I did for this brand. I will go ahead and show you what those look like. So these are some Instagram stories that we got from customers. It's a baby wearing t-shirt. So we just saved these directly from Instagram stories, and I've seen a ton of success of just running your existing Instagram stories as a Snapchat ad and then encouraging people to swipe up. So you could do the exact same thing, save some of your good Instagram stories, put some text on it, and then you're ready to start making some really effective Snapchat ads. So for Top Snap Media, that's where I would just go to upload, and I would upload that existing creative. So let's say I wanted to use Marissa holding her baby in her t-shirt. Simply click upload, and then I want to add an attachment. This is a step you don't want to forget because you don't want people to only watch the video, you want them to swipe up to your site and purchase. That's ultimately the goal of Snapchat advertising. So your attachment is your website. Call to action, I always do shop now, and then you'll enter your website URL. So for my website URLs, I like to add the UTM source of Snapchat, and you can build out those UTM parameters right here in Snapchat ads. And this way in Google Analytics, it's going to show that the purchase and the traffic is coming from Snapchat. So this is just a way to advance your reporting through Google Analytics, if you were wondering why there is this code at the end. So once it's done uploading, looks like it's going pretty fast, you'll be able to see what that creative looks like. Gonna pop over to the chat for a second. Super excited. Looks like a lot of people are in here being active. Keep putting your questions in the chat. I promise I'm going to set aside a lot of time at the end to go through every single question. If not, you can always email me. My email is Savannah@thesocialsavannah, or tweet me Savannah or social_Savannah on Twitter. You can tweet me live. I will get to all the questions. Sweet. So now it's uploaded. You can preview what it looks like. This is an awesome looking ad, and I know it's going to crush on Snapchat. This type of style works so well. Very UGC, real people using the product. This is what works the best on Snapchat for my clients. So it's as easy as that. Then you just click publish, and then that ad's going to live inside your creative library. So that's ad number one. I also want to show you how to make some ads if you don't have any existing video content. What you're going to do is you can go to new creative again. I'm going to do a single image again, but then you can click, instead of upload, you can click create. So Snapchat has this really cool publisher studio where they have all of these different video templates that they've tested that they've seen have worked really well for e-commerce. And you can literally use these templates. It's super easy, drag and drop with your existing product imagery, and start making ads really quickly this way. So if I wanted to do this template, for instance, you can upload your different product images. So if you have a different product on Y image that you want to use, you can replace this with your own. And you can also import images from your website, which is pretty cool. So if you don't even want to bother uploading images, you can literally have Snapchat just scan your website for imagery, and it'll import all of the images from your website. So I can do something as simple as, I want this girl, I want to replace that image here. There she is. And then you can add your call to action. You can upload your brand logo so you can replace this with your own, I would hope. So it's incredibly simple to use these templates, and you can get really great results just using these templated styles. So I've seen a lot of great results from my clients, especially that are like Shopify merchants just starting out, just using these existing templates within Snapchat Publisher. So I'm going to click no, I don't want this video. But that's how you do it. And then all of your existing ads are also saved in your library. So if you just want to pick an old ad, you can also click browse to access your old existing library. So this is an ad I made before this webinar. This is just using the templates. So I went to create, I made the template, I added this text within Snapchat Publisher, and then I added the logo. So, and then I got the image from the website. So you can create really great looking ads that work well on Snapchat just within Snap Publisher. This type of format of just a still image with a call to action and a logo, this format really works well. So would highly recommend that. And you would just go through the same steps of naming it, putting your brand name, headline, and then your top snap media, and remembering to add your website attachment. Now I'm going to show you guys how to make a story ad. So story ads, these are ads that show up in the Discover feed. So for those of you who have never used Snapchat or haven't used it lately, there's a Discover portion of Snapchat where different publishers are posting different like news stories, short episodes, and you can buy one of these tiles, and it's very, very cheap. Like, it's not any more expensive than just doing a regular video ad. It's just a different format. So I found that this format also works really well. And so I would highly recommend, if you're launching Snapchat for the first time, start with single image and video ads, but then also sprinkle in some story ads, because I think that this is a really great format. I wouldn't say it's the majority of my budget. I would still say that the majority is on these single image and video ads. However, really great to test, and I've seen some clients have a lot of success with them. So for these, what you do is you're actually uploading a tile image. So I'm just going to browse from my existing imagery. This is from another client, but you could pick what tile image you want. And then you can also upload your own logo so that it pops up on top of the image. And then you would put your headline. So you can say, this is like a makeup tool for men, the best men's makeup. And you see how it has the preview here. And then what you do is, once people click on the tile, they're going to be going through these different stories. So you can browse your existing stories if you've already uploaded them. I already uploaded one of these. And then you can rotate through these different stories once they click on top of the tile. So I'm just clicking 3 of my existing ones, and you could preview how that looks. So once they click on a tile, it's going to go through the stories like this. So it's pretty cool. I've seen a lot of success with this format. Definitely worth testing out is advertising inside the Discover feed. And then the last format that I use for e-commerce I would recommend is collection ad format. So this format's really cool because you can have your video going in the background or an image of your product, and then have your products below. So people can actually click on your products below to shop directly. So for here, I'm going to say I want to use this one. If I was actually publishing it, I probably wouldn't choose one with the logo cut off, but this is just an example. And then you can upload your different product imagery. So I already have some preloaded. I'm just going to show you how that would look on the ad. Sweet. So now people can literally just click on my product straight from here. I can add the call to action shop now so that people know that when they click on these products, it's going to go directly to the product page. So, and then you just want to add in the URLs for each product. But another really great format to test. Seen a lot of success for this for e-commerce. So definitely, these are the 3 ones that I usually play with: is these single image videos, story ads, and collection ads. I haven't played with filters and AR lenses yet. I think that's more for bigger advertisers with a lot more budget to do those lenses and stuff, from what I've seen. But this is a great place to get started with Snapchat ads. So this was all inside of the creative library. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and now start building out my audiences. So like I said, when I build out Snapchat campaigns, I like to start with building the creatives, then building my audiences, and then building the campaign. So starting at the ad level and then finally launching at the campaign level. So to build audiences, you're going to go to audiences right below the creative library. And what's cool is that you can have audiences that aren't only interest-based or targeting off demographics, but you can also target people who have added stuff to cart on your website, recent website visitors, and also build lookalike audiences. So for those of you who have advertised on Facebook, you know their lookalike audience is taking your existing customers, so you upload a customer list, and then Snapchat will try to find people who are similar to those people but aren't those people who purchase. So people who look alike, they look like your customers. So you can build those right in Snapchat Ads Manager. And I'm going to show you how to build all the different types of audiences here. So in your audience library, you're going to have a couple different options, a custom lookalike and a saved audience. So starting with the custom audience, these are people you can either upload a customer list or, like I said, do target events based off of pixel. So if I was going to upload a customer list, what I would do is I would upload a list of emails. So when you clean out your data, you're going to want to export a Shopify export of your purchases of just your customer emails. There's a link if you want to see more how to format it. Just an email PDF or email CSV or text file, upload it, and then you can start targeting your existing customers and make a lookalike based off that purchaser list. So I already did one, so we don't have to go through that process of uploading. So here it is. Here's my customer export. As you can see, there's 15,000 people in here. And if I wanted to make a lookalike based off that customer export, I would choose that customer export as my seed audience. So I'm telling Snapchat, I want to find people who are similar to my customer export. I'm going to choose my country. I'm going to choose the lookalike type. So similarity, balance, and reach. Similarity is like a 1% lookalike for those of you who advertise on Facebook. It's going to be the most similar to your existing customers. Balance is a little bit broader. It's saying, I want to reach people who are similar to my existing customers, but I want to reach a larger audience. Maybe consider it like a 5% lookalike. And then reach is like, I want to reach a lot of people that they're not going to be as similar to my purchasers just because it's a lot bigger list. So maybe consider that closer to a 10% lookalike. When I start out, I always want to start out with similarity because these are going to be the people who are most closest to my existing customers. And then you can add a description, audience name. This is how I usually name it. Lookalike, similarity, United States, customer export. You click create, and then that will start populating here. So that's how you upload a custom list and do a lookalike based off your custom list. You can also make audiences based off of different activity pixel. So for instance, if I want to target people who have added to cart on my website in the last 395 days, then I can just click create here. I'm going to name that add to cart 395 days. And because now you've installed this pixel on your website, what Snapchat is going to do, it's going to take all that information from that pixel and use that to populate this audience. So another audience that I like to target, which is just very low hanging fruit, is people who have been to the website in the last 30 days. So what I would do is I would say, I want people who have viewed content, that's what it's called on here, or page views, people who have viewed a page on my website in the last 30 days. Page views, 30 days. And these will probably take a couple hours to a day to populate, depending on how many people. You'll see the status, it'll either say not ready or ready. So once they're ready, you can start advertising your creatives to those audiences. What you can also do is a saved audience. So saved audience is basically another way to say like an interest-based audience or based off of demographics, location. So what's cool is that you can go to kind of this like explore page and see like if you want to say like, okay, like I want to target people that are between 20 and 55 plus who are female. And you can also choose very advanced demographics. So I only want to target people who are making 250K plus. I also want them to be, there's so many different categories in here. It's insane. Like apparel shoppers, Snapchat has a partnership with Visa. So it's actually taking purchase data to make up these audiences. So people who have recently been jewelry shoppers or luxury apparel shoppers, these are all audiences that you can choose. So the targeting on Snapchat is way more advanced than Facebook. They don't have as many privacy issues as Facebook has run into, so they can get away with these very advanced targeting based off of Visa data. So I can say, I want people who have children's apparel shoppers, or for example, this baby brand that I've been using as an example, I could type in baby food buyers, baby formula buyers. Like you can get so incredibly targeted. So now I'm saying this is probably a little too small because I said I wanted to make 250K plus buy baby foods. I might get rid of that targeting and see what comes up with. I think I might be glitching out now, but typically it works. But yeah, you could choose interest-based targeting. What's also cool is if you just want to get some more insights on your existing customers, so you know how I showed you how to upload that customer list, You can also see like what the makeup is of your existing customers. So if I X out here, if I go to custom audiences, nope, don't want that. If I go to custom audiences and I choose that customer export that I uploaded, you can see what that breakup is. So the gray bars is just everyone in the United States, but those yellow bars represents people who have purchased on your website. So people who have purchased on my website, majority are above 25, household income 100K plus, and you can also see very detailed targeting about your existing customers. So if you're just trying to learn more about like who are my existing customers, you can find out, oh, they're small business employees, they're married. There's so many different categories you can see. So for this audience, people who have purchased on this baby brand, people who are married, they're homeowners, they have bachelor's degrees, they're moms. So you can learn a lot about your existing audience, even like stuff in terms of location, what interests they have. Are they travel enthusiasts? Different categories they fall in. So love Snapchat because you can have this advanced targeting. And then you can save that targeting if you wish, just by clicking right here, and then you could target that audience later. So that's how to create your audiences. Just to recap, the custom audiences, which is uploading your customer list. You can make a lookalike audience based off of that. You could target people based off your pixel events, so people who have viewed content, add to cart. And you can also make those saved interest-based audiences. So finding people who are baby product shoppers or in those interest categories from Snapchat. And those are all gonna live here. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's build out a campaign. So in your creative library, here's that ad I just built. You're gonna click on it. And then if you needed to edit it for any reason, change your headline, website, whatever, you would go here. But I'm gonna go to a campaign because I wanna create a campaign with this ad. So you're gonna have, so when you click create campaign, you're gonna be launched into this form where you're gonna be able to choose your audience. So if you already have those saved custom audiences here, then like if I wanted to say, I wanted to, for this ad, I wanted to use that lookalike audience, I would click on here and then it would show that lookalike size. You're gonna set your daily budget, your goal. So when you first start advertising on Snapchat, you're first and only gonna be able to optimize for these lower level events like swipe up. So what happens is that as your pixel gets more seasoned and you get people adding to cart and purchasing on that Snapchat pixel, you'll be able to unlock being able to optimize for events like add to cart and purchase. That's where I've seen I've been able to get the best results for my clients once I'm able to optimize for purchase. You just have to season the pixel a bit in order to be able to unlock that. So when you're starting a brand new account, you're gonna have to do the swipe up goal. And then I like to use target cost. So what I'm saying is essentially how much am I willing to pay on average per swipe up? So you can think of this as like a cost per click number. When I start with a new account, I usually choose $1, either arbitrarily, but that's just what I've done and it's worked out. I'm saying I don't want to pay more than $1 per swipe up to get people into my site. You can make this lower, higher, depending on maybe comparable cost to cost per click on Facebook or Google. But when I first start out, I usually choose $1. But what's cool is that once you're able to unlock optimizing for purchase, you can choose a target cost as a CPA goal. So you can say, I only want to target people who the Snapchat algorithm thinks is going to purchase for an average of $10 per purchase. So you can enter in that target CPA goal right here. And so that's when the Snapchat algorithm can optimize to make sure that you're hitting the CPA goal target that you set. So right now I'm going to optimize for target cost. It's going to give you a little summary. And then you're going to create your ad. So it's literally as simple as that to launch your first campaign. I'm going to show you a couple other ways of how to launch campaigns and like how to manage your ads once they're going and see the different metrics, how to be able to see how things are doing. So once you have your first campaign live, I'm going to set this paused. It's going to be launched into this little area of manage ads. So to get here, I'm under the manage ads section. And you'll be able to see your campaigns, your ad sets, so your targeting and your ad. There's the ad. So similar setup to Facebook. You're also going to be able to set up your columns so that you can see spend, purchase value return, your ROAS, return on ad spend, swipe ups. You can add a ton of different metrics in here. That's all under columns. So if you wanted to customize your columns to see how many purchases you're getting, you can even add like how many people are adding to cart, add to cart view versus swipe. I usually just do total. So you can really measure your metrics on both campaign, ad set, and the ad level. So if I want to make another campaign, let's just say I wanted a campaign that was for prospecting, but I also wanted a separate campaign for remarketing website visitors, you can simply click New Campaign. Instant Create is that process I just went through. That's where it's pretty straightforward. This one is, I would say, for more beginners, but I always use Advanced Create. So Advanced Create, you're going to pick your website goal. You can name your campaign, choose your start and end date. The next page will be the same thing we just went through, picking your audience. So you can include your custom audiences, or you can choose your demographics right within here. And then optimize for swipe up. This is the same step we went before. And then next, and this is where you create your ads. So what's cool is because we already made all of our ads in the creative library, all I have to do is click load existing creative, and all my creatives are right here. So if I want to add multiple ads inside this ad set, I would just click create another ad, load existing creative, and just click all the ones that I already built out in my creative library. So this is the easiest process that I found, especially if I want to launch multiple ad sets and ads at a time. I'll also show you guys, if you back on the ad set level, if I want to add multiple ad sets and multiple ads at the same time. So let's just say here I want to do an audience for people who have, let's see what audience I already have loaded in. I want to target that existing customer list export. So I can name this customer list. And then I also wanted to do an audience that was the baby mom shoppers. And then instead of that, I would do, it's under baby. So as you can see in the queue, you can have multiple ad sets that you're launching at a time. And then when you click next, all of those ads are going to load inside of those ad sets. So this is a really simple way, especially if you're more advanced, build out multiple campaigns at a time, multiple ads, and then click next, and then you'll be able to publish. My favorite part is when the little Snapchat goes, because that means that it's publishing and your ads are almost live. Typically, I've seen the ad reviews take anywhere from like 6 hours to a day for when the Snapchat team reviews your creative. Success, your ads are under review. And as you can see, here's that new campaign. I didn't name it. It's the default website conversions. Here's those two ad sets I just made. And then inside of each of those ad sets, I have my 3 ad creatives. So let's just say you're running your ads and you have new creative idea, you want to make some new creatives. What you would do is you can make those new ads in the creative library, which is what I would recommend. And then if you want to add it to an existing ad set that's already live, like this baby mom audience, what you do is you just click create under here. You're going to be taken back to this baby mom setting just to make sure all the settings are right, everything's how you want it. You click next. You're going to load existing creative that you just built in the creative library. If I wanted to add these 3 ads in. Now this is how you add new creatives to your existing campaigns. So super simple process. Like I said, my setup I like to do, build out all your ads in the creative library, then build out your audiences, and then build out your campaigns and ads and launch. So kind of a reverse order. But that's how I've seen the most success and how I've been able to launch ads really quickly. So now you can see all those new ads are now living inside of that baby mom audience. So that is the intro to Snapchat ads. I want to leave the last 20 minutes purely for question and answers. I know there's probably a ton of questions, so please feel free to hop in the chat. I'm going to turn off my webcam right now, or turn off my screen share right now, and let's get to those questions. Sweet. Maybe Hans wants to help me hop in and help read out some of the questions that he's seen. That would be helpful. But I will also just start from the top. Snapchat demands $20 a day minimum. Can it be lowered? No, I think that that minimum is just the minimum, $20 a day. So let's see what else. Favorite creatives for Snapchat. I know you're the UGC queen. How do you find that UGC styles perform better? Yes. So UGC, for those of you who don't know, is user generated content. So like I like those Snapchat ads I showed you before of people filming it with their iPhone and making it look very native. So giving your hey Hans, and how's it going? But yes, I've seen UGC work best as
Hey
Snapchat
guys.
creative. Hey,
Yes, I wrote down some of the questions. Should I
sweet.
just? All right, cool. So Hannah Evans was asking, hey Savannah, what types of businesses or products would you say kill it on Snapchat? How would you say dog-related stuff might do? Any specific tips? Smiley face.
Oh, dog creative stuff does so well on Snapchat. I used to work with some brands that sold dog products, so that works really well. I would say if your age range is between like 13 and 30 years old, and they're like impulse buy products. So when I say impulse buy, I means like products like under $50. Um, that those type of things seem to work best. Like brands that I've seen that haven't worked on Snapchat is if it's like luxury items or like a new sofa, like things that take more consideration, then Snapchat is probably not your platform. But for like those impulse buys, like apparel, cosmetics, health, all that stuff works really well.
Awesome. All right, so Camille West is asking, do you need an active brand profile to advertise on Snapchat?
No, you can start a brand new Snapchat ads manager and be good to go.
Okay. Let's see here. Another question. I wrote down some of the questions from earlier, so let's see here. All right, so Vlad Dudnik is asking, what are the most significant differences of Snapchat versus Facebook ads, algorithm management, etc.? I know that's a difficult question, but any color on that?
Yeah, so just really quickly, I would say that CPM, so the cost of traffic, is so much lower on Snapchat. It's also a younger demographic, so reaching people between that 13 and 25-year-old age group, a lot of them are on Snapchat as opposed to Facebook. And then in terms of management, like as you saw when I went through the setup, I find it way simpler to set up campaigns and manage than Facebook ads. And I've seen better results for my clients using Snapchat. So
All right. All right, we'll take one more question from earlier. Let's see here. So if you're an advertiser, what would you say is the difference between the offering on Snapchat versus Shopify? When should you use the Shopify option versus going into the Snapchat Ads Manager?
yeah, the Shopify ads option is a great option if you want to get started like today and you've never used Facebook Ads Manager before and you don't want to necessarily go through the complexities of setting up a full campaign. You can launch it just in Shopify in seconds and target your existing website traffic and start seeing results come in that way. However, if you want to go beyond the basics, I would say graduate to Snapchat Ads Manager. You saw the process. It really isn't that much more difficult, just a couple extra clicks. But once you learn where to click, it'll be much easier. And we'll send out the replay too. So you can always refer this when you're setting up your Snapchat ads campaign.
Yeah, I mean, it was impressive how fast you did it, just like last
It's pretty
time.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah. And also surprisingly easy inside the Snapchat Ads Manager compared
Yeah.
to Facebook. I always feel like I stumble in there or get lost. It feels a little bit like a maze, but inside Snapchat, it just seems so intuitive. So, all right. So Ian Monats is asking, can CBD brands advertise on Snapchat?
Absolutely. That's probably one of the biggest benefits of Snapchat versus Facebook is CBD brands are welcomed with open arms.
All right. And James Kemp is asking, can I target ATC audience but exclude purchasers?
Yep, you can use any exclusions that you want. You just have to build out your ads cart audience, and then there's a button on Snapchat where you can say exclude X audience. So that's actually best practice I follow. I always exclude my customer list from those prospecting campaigns. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
All right. And so you see here, we got one from Connor. Here in the UK, we don't have the visa data and the interests are limited. Any advice?
Mm. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I didn't really know that that visa in a like partnership was only for US, so I guess that makes sense. I've actually seen on Snapchat that utilizing broad audiences. So, like for instance, for one of my accounts that's spending $50,000 a month on Snapchat, our best audience is just females 13 to 25. So, no interest targeting layered in on top of it. Um, and then, so I would say rely on broader audiences. I've seen those work really well. And then those look like audiences. So, uploading the list of your customers or website visitors and building a lookalike off of that. It's your best bet.
Got it. Okay. So Muhammad is asking, does footwear apparel brands do well on Snapchat? Any any thoughts there?
Um, I would say yes, but I've never worked with an apparel brand on Snapchat or a footwear brand. So I can't say it from my experience, but I have seen a lot of like footwear ads on Snap. I know that there's a lot of advertisers using it, so I would assume so.
I mean, here's a question for me. I would say, or how important would you say the creative is when creating an ad versus the product or the industry?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of the same methodology for Facebook ads or even TV ads or whatever. It's like the creative is what people are first seeing, and that's what's going to get their attention and whether they are intrigued and want to purchase. Of course, the product is important. If the product needs to add value and you see the right price, the right offer, and then a great website. I mean, you guys are all on Shopify, so that part's already mostly taken care of. But yeah, creative and product is very important to advertising success, and something that with my Snapchat clients, I put a lot of my attention to is just making creatives and reiterating every week off of what creatives are working.
And how long do you usually give it before you start changing the creative?
Yeah, so I typically rotate creatives out each week. It's going to depend if you're creative. I have some accounts where the same creatives been working well for months. That's kind of more lucky scenario. But
Mhm.
if your ads aren't working, then you're going to have to be quicker at rotating in new creatives. So
Okay. All right, let's take another question here. Let's see. Is there, Andrew is asking, is there a recommended attribution model for Snap?
good question. So there's, attribution is a tricky subject and it's going to depend based off of your brand. But I would say if you're worried about attribution off from your Facebook ads, your Google ads versus Snap, I would measure your success based off swipe only. So when you're setting up your columns, you can say, I only want to count it as a purchase if someone swiped up on my Snapchat ad within 1 day or 7 days, depending on how tight you want the attribution window, and then purchase. So excluding all of the view purchases. So yeah, I would say like test out like a swipe only attribution model. You set that up in your columns for a 1 day swipe up or 7 day swipe up.
Got it. And Gaz he says, my audience is 35 plus. Will it work? That's good. I have a brand as well, and my audience is also 35 plus. So I'm curious your thoughts on that.
I would say it's it's not going to be like you're not going to be able to reach as many people as you would on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram has a wider base people 35 plus, where on Snapchat there still is people 35 plus, but it's smaller. So it's hard to say if you'll be able to get as much scale as out of it. It's worth testing out, especially if like you're just retargeting your existing website traffic. So setting it up within the Shopify ads app, retargeting people who have been to your website who are 35 plus, like that's some low hanging fruit. But in terms of like reaching a really broad audience that are 35 plus, they're mostly on Facebook and Instagram as opposed to Snap, from what I've
Got it.
seen.
Okay. Vanessa is asking, is Snapchat good for children's products? Have you seen any success stories for children's products?
Yeah, I mean, like the brand I just showed you is like it's for moms, but
Oh,
it's like a
yeah.
baby wearing t-shirt. But yeah, children's products work really well. There's a lot of moms on Snapchat within like that 25 to 35-year-old age group. So definitely worth testing out.
Okay. Let's see here. Scroll down a little bit. Okay, so Payam is asking, we sell nutritional supplements. Do you think they will do good on Snapchat or Facebook or Instagram? Question mark.
100%. I would say start with Snapchat first, just because you'll be able to reach people way cheaper. I've seen so many supplement and like nutrition ads on Snap. I personally haven't ran any, but I know that category works really well. So.
Great. Is it possible to split test creatives? Anan is asking, can we split test creatives?
So you can't do like a formal A/B test, but you can, like, for instance, make one ad set with one creative and another ad set with another, or you can have one audience and test multiple creatives in there at a time. So that's how I test my creatives against each other. I don't just run one creative at a time, but it's not like a formal split test like you would on Facebook. But you can run multiple creatives against each other to see which one's working best.
Got it. Hannah has a great question. Have you had any success using Snapchat for prospecting, given the lower cost, and then using Insta Facebook for remarketing?
Yeah, 100%. I would say that's like my main strategy is getting new people into the funnel and on the website via Snapchat ads, and then using Facebook and Instagram to remarket that traffic. So I'm using multiple channels. I'm not ditching Facebook and Instagram by any means. Like for some products, it makes more sense to use it more or less often than Snapchat. However, Snapchat is a huge part of the strategy of making sure we're getting new people to the site at the cheapest rate possible.
Got it. Um, have you touched on this yet? The difference between the cost of advertising on Facebook versus Snapchat? Did you touch on that earlier?
I don't know if I said exact metrics, but I pulled the data a few weeks ago, and it was really interesting that Facebook and Instagram is on average 10 times more expensive to reach people than Snapchat ads. This is just based off of CPM, so cost per thousand. Usually CPMs on Snapchat, I'll see like it's like 50 cents to reach 1,000 people, where on Facebook it can be anywhere from like $5 to $25 to reach 1,000 people. So
Wow.
extreme efficiencies there.
So like 10 times plus more expensive.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big difference. All right, let me see here. I think we have some other questions here. Eddie Castillo was asking earlier, how do you import or populate customer list? Does Pixel automatically sync this? You may have already answered that, but
Yeah. I would say rewatch the video. Maybe you asked that before I got to it.
all right, so let's see. I think we covered most of the questions,
I
but
think a bunch of new ones are coming in right now.
okay,
I
let's
see a few
go.
popping in.
All right. Can we?
And also, I'm going to throw this in the chat also, my Twitter. I'm going to be on Twitter the rest of the day answering questions. If I don't get to it, just tweet me. Again, that's social_Savannah. Or send me an email at savannah@thesocialsavannah.com. Um, yeah, I see there's a bunch of questions coming in, so we
Yeah,
probably won't get to all in the last 6 minutes. I'm also going to post again for those of you who maybe joined late, the $1,000 ad credit. We'll be sending that out in the email too, right?
yep, yep.
The link. Okay.
And Chris Diddy just had a question about, do we need to spend 1,000 to get the free $1,000 credit?
Correct. So it's BOGO. Spend 1,000, get 1,000. However, if you're using that Shopify integration, if you aren't planning to spend $1,000 right away, what you can do is use the Shopify integration to launch your first ad. And once you spend $25, you'll get $100. So spend 25, get 100. So you could take advantage of both those offers. You could just take advantage of the spend 25, get 100. If you find you're getting good results and you end up spending $1,000, then you'll get your free $1,000 on top of that. So Snapchat is just throwing money at you to go and try it. So take advantage of this offer. I don't think it's going to last very long. So
I mean, $1,000.
yeah,
That's a lot of traffic.
yeah.
Uh,
For 50 cents, reach 1,000 people. You'll reach a lot of people. It's $1,000.
yeah. So Jordan is asking, I've heard about Snapchat ads causing issues with analytics and creating inaccurate number of views. This is due to Snapchat having your landing load up inside the app. Any more
Yep.
info on this or getting around it?
Yep. So for those of you who have advertised on Snapchat before, there's an option when you're creating your campaign to preload your creatives. I actually think it's on the ad level. And if you preload your website, what that means is as someone's watching your video, the website's going to load in the background so that when they swipe up, the website's already loaded. However, that's what's going to create all of that nightmare traffic because just every person that views your ad, it's going to load the website. So I always turn off preload because it just screws up traffic numbers and conversion rate numbers. I would recommend the saying you don't need preload on, and then that'll solve your issue.
That's great. Um, let's see here. Stephen Wong is asking, any strategy for scaling on Snapchat?
I'm just replying to a message in the chat. Someone said, "Do I need to use the $1,000 link in order before I register on Shopify?" Yes, use this link first, or you won't be able to get the free credit. So, just wanted to make sure that was pointed out. But what was that question? I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss out on that $1,000 credit. So Stephen Wong was asking, any strategy for scaling on Snapchat?
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. Like once you find a winning audience, those winning creatives, I'm just adding more budget. And what's cool is that once you get enough data on the pixel and when you're able to optimize for pixel purchase instead of swipe up, then it's just about controlling your cost per purchase. So then I can say I want to spend up to $5,000 a day. However, don't spend my full budget if you can't get a $10 CPA. So essentially, Snapchat will not spend your budget unless it's reaching those targets. And so you can scale that way. Obviously, creative testing really quickly is going to help you scale faster to find those winning creatives, as well as audience testing. So testing out those different lookalike audiences, different interest-based audiences. Once you find those winners, it's just about adding more budget and making sure that you're maintaining that CPA by setting a target cost on the ad set level.
Got it. For creative, Jade Powell is asking, do you find the videos or images perform better?
I find videos perform better, especially like the UGC style. So people filming with their iPhone, talking about the product, like those Instagram stories that I showed you, that's the type of creative that's working the best.
Got it. All right, so we got a brand new question here from RJ Raposa. When you set up a dynamic ad through Shopify, it doesn't allow to choose what image. How does it decide? Oops, how does it decide which product it will show? So maybe we should use a Snap Ads Manager first? Question mark.
Yeah, so within this like Shopify integration, all it's doing is taking your product images and your product catalog to retarget people. So you don't have any control in terms of like what images are being used or any editing. That's why I said it's like super basic. It'll get you started, but it's super basic. There's obviously limitations if you can't edit the creative. But as you saw, it's super easy just to make your own creative within Snapchat Ads Manager. So if you want to upload your own product photos or if you have your own product videos you want to advertise, just go straight to Snapchat Ads Manager to get that done.
That's great. We got one more question here. Anthony Sconso is asking, Facebook, Instagram have seen great performance spikes in certain industries. Have you seen similar spikes in good performance in the last few weeks on Snap?
Yeah, like it's insane. Like we're seeing results better than like Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And because I don't know if it's because like coronavirus, like everyone's staying at home, kids are home from school, they're on Snapchat way more than they probably should be, not paying attention to their Zoom classes. So yeah, that's why I'm so like passionate about Snapchat, especially like in literally even its last month. Like I've seen results just skyrocket. So, like I've never seen anything like this with Facebook or Instagram. Usually results on that just keeps once it starts going bad, it's a slow ride down. But with Snapchat, like it's really revived a lot of brands that I worked with and been a huge part of their strategy now, where it wasn't even considered a couple months ago. So that's why I'm pushing Snapchat so hard, because I know it's so untapped, and I've seen really great results for it for my clients, and I know it's super easy to set up. So there's nothing stopping you from taking advantage of it.
What is just a quick question for me? What's the number one issue you see advertisers do when experiencing low performance with ads on Snapchat or other platforms?
Yeah, I mean, I would say give up is probably the sad truth, is that people like want to launch their first ad and see great results and start making money right away. If it was like that all the time, we would all be millionaires and that would be awesome. However, we know that with anything with advertising, it's all about testing and learning. It's very rare you get it right the first time, but if you continually creative test, tweaking your product, tweaking your website, you'll eventually keep getting better and better and better. So you're not gonna I have failed so many times when I first started advertising for my brands. Like when I was first learning digital advertising, like my ads flopped. They sucked. To be straight up with it. But I've learned a lot over the last few years about just tips and tricks that you pick up from going to webinars like this and testing for yourself. And you do get better. So don't give up if it doesn't work right away. And I guess that's just life advice that can apply to anything.
That is good advice. Should we do a few more questions? Or
um, I don't know. I kind of feel like that was a good place to wrap up.
it
I don't
was
think
a
I can
good place
top
to wrap
that.
up. Um, all
But
right,
I
so
do
let's
want
do
to
that.
offer people. I want to offer people the option to email me, tweet me. Um, so I'm going to put that on the chat right now. Again, my website is thesocialsavannah.com. So that has my contact info on there. You can send me an email straight to there. Um, I also do Snapchat ads management service. So if you wanted just to use me to run your Snapchat ads or any of your other paid social or help work on your creatives, please reach out. My website, thesocialsavannah.com, or email me directly, Savannah at thesocialsavannah. I also am very active on Twitter, and that is social_Savannah. Please tweet me on there. I'm going to be answering questions the rest of the day. I know there's a ton of questions we didn't get to, but really want to interact with all of you guys. Please, like, if you have any setup problems, feel free to reach out. I want to make sure you guys are all set up. So thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you, Savannah, for taking the time again. Really, really appreciate it. And it's so nice to see how easy it is to set up these ads. And personally, as a merchant, it always helps me so much when I can see an expert like yourself deconstruct exactly how you do it, because then I know, okay, that's how the experts are doing it, and then I can go home and do it for my own brand as well. So thank you so much for taking the time. And to everyone out there, we'll be sending out an email to all of you with a full replay of the session, as well as any resources that Savannah has shared during the session. So keep an eye out for that. It should be arriving most likely tomorrow morning or so.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks so
All
much, Hans,
right.
for having me. This was awesome.
Always a pleasure. All right, so thank you so much, Savannah, and thank you everyone for joining. See you again soon. Bye-bye.